Sixth grade Excel, lesson 22. We're going to be taking a look at the value of fractions, looking at greatest to least, comparing fractions, and so on. So the first part says put these fractions in order from least to greatest. Let's take a look at the fractions. We have 2/5, 4/5, 3/5, and 1/5. Well, let's draw a picture of a pie here. And alrighty, not the best drawing in the world, but there's 5 pieces there. 1/5, of course, is going to be a lot smaller than 2/5, and obviously that's less than 3/5, and then 4/5 would be the most. So everybody write 1/5 right here in this first blank, because we're going from least to greatest. 2/5, 3/5, and then 4/5. Too easy, right? Okay, pause the video, do number 2, turn it back on when you're ready for the solution. On this one, the smallest one is obviously 2/9, and then the next biggest one is 5/9, 6/9, and then 7/9. All right, how do fractional parts compare when the whole is divided into more pieces? Below are 3 pies of equal size. 1, 2, 3 are 3 pies. They have been cut into halves. Right there, halves are 2 pieces. That's 1/2, right? Halves. Fourths, that would be right there. And eighths, that's this last one. 8 pieces, eighths. 4 pieces, fourths. Notice that the more pieces a pie is cut into, the smaller each piece is. So if we have 1/2, looks like that. If we have 1/4, looks like that. And 1/8 looks like that right there. So you can see that 1/8 is much smaller than 1/4, which is also smaller than 1/2. 1/2 is the largest piece. Some people might think, just by looking at these fractions written like this, that 1/2 is the smallest because 2 is the smallest number. But it's actually just the opposite. 1/8 is the smallest because when you cut something into 8 pieces, each one of those pieces is going to be smaller than if you cut something into 2 pieces. Each piece is going to be bigger than those 8 pieces. All right, let's keep moving on. Here are some problems to try having to do with putting fractions in order. We have 1/7, 1/3, 1/4, 1/8, and 1/5. We also want to circle the fraction that has the least value, and in that case it's 1/8. So the smallest is 1/8, then 1/7, 1/5, 1/4, and 1/3. Notice the biggest fraction is actually the fraction with the smallest denominator in this case. All right, go ahead and pause the video, try just number 4, turn it back on when you're ready for the solution. So to go from least to greatest, that would start with 1/9 over here. We got that one. And then, actually we'd circle that as being the least fraction. Then 1/8, then 1/5, 1/4, and 1/2. So 1/9 is the correct answer as the least fraction, and that's the correct order from least to greatest. Now this part says put the fractions in order from greatest to least, and which fraction has the least. We're still going to identify the least one by circling that, but we're going to put the fractions starting with the greatest here and the least down there. Pause the video, do 5 and 6, turn it back on when you're ready for the solutions to those. All right, the greatest fraction here is 1/2, and then we go to 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, and 1/6. So the least fraction is 1/6. If you mess this one up, you might want to pause the video again, erase your answers to 6 and fix it before I show you the answer. 1/2 is the greatest fraction, and that's what we're going to start with. Number 6, the greatest fraction here is 1/4. Then next up is 1/5, then 1/8, then 1/10, and then 1/13. That's the smallest. That's a very small piece of the pie. You only have 1 out of 13 pieces. And so we circle 1/13 as the least fraction. Circle the denominator of the fraction in the set with the least value. Which one of these is the least value? You circle the denominator. And by the way, when you do the guided practice and the homework side, you're always going to use that number alone in the check answer. So we'd circle the 7 as the least value out of these 3 fractions. Go ahead and pause the video, do 8 and 9, turn it back on when you're ready to see the solution. Greatest value, number 8, that's going to be the 3 because 1/3 is bigger than 1/8 or 1/4. Least value, that's going to be the 5 because 1/5 is the smallest piece out of all these different fractions. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.